Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'll be starting a series, or a mini-series, where I'll be going over my National Go Center Fall Tournament games from last November. Now, November was a pretty long time ago and there hasn't been any videos since then. Main reason is some technical difficulties which haven't fully been resolved, but I'm hopefully going to be able to make videos at least a little more often. So yeah, let's talk about the tournament. It was an online tournament. It was a free online tournament by the National Go Center. The reason why it was free is because they just needed players, because they kind of took this tournament as kind of like a practice one, because they figured, okay, there's going to be more online tournaments. This is going to be our first one. So let's just have a practice one where we just want players so they can practice using the online software or whatever it may be. So that's why I'm participating in an online National Go Center tournament. The time settings for these games was 30-minute main time with 3 30-second overtime periods. 4 rounds, all played in one day. So Komi 6.5 as well. So my first round opponent, Tony Yang, has the black stones, 5 Dan. I have the white stones. And you'll see I go for very specific style, and that becomes pretty apparent early on. There's a very common variation. White takes cash, black takes extension on the outside, some thickness as well. And then I protect here. The reason why I protect there is I'm kind of protecting my last 4 force against any 3/3s. And I'm looking at the right side and I see, okay, black has 2 4 force. No matter which one he protects, I'll be able to invade one of them. And that becomes very apparent. When black goes here, I invade the 3/3. Now, when black plays here, if you're not caught up in the kind of new AI variations, don't be confused. Black is not trying to make some influence towards the top. With this white stone at F17, the top side is very small. It's very small, at least compared to the right side. So black is not trying to make some sort of extension here to get the top side. No. What he's going to do is he's actually going to switch directions. And this is kind of a cool new AI variation where it starts out with black blocking this way, but you'll see after the Hane and cut, black's going to switch directions to the right side. Now directly, white has to do something. White has to protect S17 cut. And the two main ways are Q18 and S16. We'll go over the variation that was not played in the game, which is the one I actually usually play as well. So if white cuts, black can get this squeeze like this, and then Atari, capturing the cutting stone. White's able to cut and then jump here. And at the time, I was thinking this didn't feel so great because the upper side, again, is very, very small, again, comparatively to the right side. And so it didn't seem that interesting for me. But I think this is actually okay because black would like to be able to ladder this stone, but you can see it's going to hit F3. Now, this is not game ending for black. Black instead just plays here. But you can see that gives that white stone a lot more aji. I can pull it out later if I want to. And I also take Sente. So I think this is playable, actually, now that I'm looking at it. So that's one variation. That's a very common variation you'll see in pro games and higher level games. In the game, though, the other move is to Atari here. And the idea with this Atari is you can just take like this. Black has to fix, and then white takes Sente. And there's some aji here you can poke at as white as well. But in the game, I cut and then extend. And it might look dangerous for the corner, but white has Mii life in the corner. If black takes here, white can cut here and white's alive. If black protects here, though, white can take here and white's alive once again. So regardless, white is alive. That does mean, though, black fixing here somehow, maybe with this sort of move, or the solid connection, that's sente. Same thing here. Okay. Saving this stone is going to be sente. So while white's alive, it's still miai, so white has to play accordingly. So he comes out, and then I try to attack the group, and I try to play at the shape points. Here, black could have played that move I was talking about with playing here. Again, white cannot do anything else as long as this move is sente, right? Now, you can see white's unable to capture R18, so white's going to be dead in the corner. It might be ko, but it's not going to be worth it for white. So that means white has to take. And then even black might just push and cut or just simply play this one. There is a cut here though, so maybe forcing white to play there isn't so great. So maybe that explains why he just connects or attaches. I take the stone though, and now my shape is perfectly connected. There's no way for black to cut me because I'm starting to threaten a snapback shape. And so these 3 stones are very weak. If this extends, this is reasonable. And so then I force here. And then here's where white starts to make quite a few blunders. Right now, black's right side group is not alive. So even though black can capture this S14 stone, now that white captured R18, it's not going to be sente. It's not going to be sente for black to capture. So white should be looking to play here, kind of pressure that group, or this move here. This move attacks the black shape, and this would give white an easy access into the side. However, white has to handle the upper side, or this kind of cutting group here first. White has to do something about this group first. And so in the game, what white does is attach, and you can see by attaching, white's not any more alive, right? White's still not alive. White still has to run. But you can see how much stronger black is on the top. So this is still playable. This is still playable as long as white gets this move. And this was the time for white to do it. White needed to get this move now. The thing with this move is, of course, it's directly threatening to cut. And black can live on the side. If maybe he can't even live locally, yeah. Technically he could, I guess, if he, let's say, if he wanted to. Again, he wouldn't play this way, but just to show, he could live on the side, very simply. But you can see how, if he tries to live locally, it's going to help white get a lot of thickness on the right side. So this move is very annoying for black. If black just connects, though, kind of keeping this shape kind of loose, white extends, white has free access into this, onto the side, and again, black is not alive yet. So white really needed to look for that spot. In the game, you'll see white pushed, black's able to peep, and then extend. So if you look at the end result, black got points and an alive group on the upper side, black got points and an alive group on the right, and white got a stick worth no points. So if you're going to kind of play this sort of variation, you do not want to force the groups to live. Instead, white should just jump here. Just jump here. Now, let's say black fixes the right side. Now I can play that peeping move that I was talking about. Not peeping move, sorry. Counter extension move against the top, this attacking move. And once again, black is not alive, so this would be a very strong attack. If black plays something here, for example, this sort of move, now when I attach, I already know after black extends here, there's no way I can attack that group. So now I get some extra forcing moves, and then go back to attack the right side. And you can see, compare this sort of shape with the shape in the game. Oops, a little too far. Yeah, look at the shape in the game here. Look at the difference of the white shape there. It's so much better. So much better. So you just don't want to touch. You just don't want to touch either group. So just jumping would have been better. Now there's also an interesting thing here of black peeping. Now you only want to peep when you know you want to peep. And I'm kind of, it's like, oh, of course. But what I mean by that is there's a cut here. There's a cut here. Now, directly, it's very scary. But if white ladders, it's going to go to this black stone. So this wouldn't be good for white. But white can actually net. And once again, it looks scary. It looks scary because when black extends, black's threatening to capture these 3 stones. But white has a nice way to protect. Again, if white just plays here, black captures. So black has to do, or white has to do something against that to help these 3 stones. White can play here. Notice this is threatening or saving the 3 stones, but taking away a black liberty. And that's what's important. Black still cannot escape, however black tries. Black is just too short on liberties. Now how about if black haned? If white haned back, what if black cuts now? Again, it's very similar, like this. But now black can get an extra forcing move because this move is now an Atari. White needs to take, and it looks like black can push through like this and then cut through like this. This would be game over for white. But white has a nice loose ladder here. White can give up the 1 stone but keep black's liberties down and ladder this stone, and this ladder is going to hit this lower left corner. So even though black can get this hane, it's not going to help here. But what that does mean is maybe black can play this hane and then play to the lower left like this. Something like this is playable. Again, since this cut now relies on a ladder, if black can play the ladder breaker in advance, now white has 2 things to worry about. It's this cut and any move black gets in the corner. So I think from here, let's say white does see the ladder. White can play maybe a move like this. And again, maybe it's not so great because again, this weakness on the right side is so potent, really. So that's why black peeped, because black really can never get a good chance to cut there. And then extend. And then I play here. Again, since I've already protected the corner, with this move is pretty safe. And again, I'm trying to attack the black left side. And then black comes in. And this is another white mistake. White just simply comes down. And why is this a mistake? Look, white has 3 white stones locally, and black invades. And white plays a very passive move. This move sure takes away the Aji of the corner, but it doesn't put any extra pressure on the black stones. So what white should do, let's see what happened in the game first. Black attached, and white just takes the points. And at the time, I'm like, I'm getting everything I want. I got the upper right points. I got the upper left points. I'm taking the entire lower left. That's great. That's everything I've ever wanted. But the issue is, who has the weak group on the board? White's the one who has this group here. So at this point, if black was able to play here, this move completely destroys white's ice shape and builds that huge right side. That right side's going to get huge. This group here is so weak. It's so weak. So that's why playing this kind of passive way here, even though I take the points, it's not great. It's not great. And that's kind of what I was alluding to, is I was playing very territorially. So a little too territorially. So instead, of course, white should kick first. If black extends, jump. This, of course, has to be the way to play. Because remember, the point of this move, initially, is I'm trying to put pressure on this left side group. If black ignores, I can take out the base, or I don't know the variations that well, but there's kind of this new attachment here as well that white can play. Just know that white can attack that left side group somehow. But instead, I just let black connect. Now there's no attack possible. So I kind of just gave up what I was trying to do with this initial move. if I was able to kick and then jump, you can see I'm still, because I'm not letting black connect, I'm still able to invade here later, and I'm attacking these 2 stones. And there's something I will point out that's very important, is notice these stones here cannot connect. And I mentioned this because let's back up once. Yeah, let's do it here. Let's say this black stone was here, right? Which is another common move for the upper left joseki. When white jumps now, black has a very nice move of descending, like this. The idea with this move is black is threatening to connect under, but also threatening to take out the corner. And even if white tries to prevent that, black can still kind of keep this backdoor connection. And the idea is, if white protects the corner, black's not going to connect on the first line. Black's going to use that as a kind of last ditch effort to connect. Black's going to come out, and once again, black has maybe 1 weak group, but white has 1 weak group and 2 weak groups. So whoever has more weak groups on the board is generally at a disadvantage. Even black might even jump here as well, kind of keep these 2 groups separated. But having this ability to drop down is very important. Now you might say, well, black can connect them immediately like this, and that's true, but you'll see the variation is not as good because white's going to take out the corner and black connects, but black's going to actually take gote in this variation. And the one in the game, black could have taken sente to play this move. If black plays this now, white will just cut here and black shape is in shambles. If black fixes here, even though the shape is better than in the game, right? Black's a lot stronger. I'm not sure what white would play, but white getting this sort of move is very good. Very, very good. So that's why black really doesn't want white to get that connection. So now, if something like this happened, and let's say black tries to connect or does connect, you can see now this variation is going to be much better for black. In fact, white's just dead. Or maybe it's ko, but you get the idea. Very, very bad for white. So this descent is very good for black. And this all works because this stone is on the 3rd line. So notice when it's on the 4th line, there's no connection, which is even more so why I should attack here, because black cannot connect to that left side group. But instead, I just let black connect and get a very nice wall in sente. Now, this move seems like a pretty big move, but it's gote is the issue. Really, black needs to at least make this move, this 1 move here. And there's no way white's going to cut or do anything there with this whole upper side group in a lot of danger. So usually you don't want to play from your peeping stones, and that's something I constantly say. But in this case, with how weak white becomes after playing here and how nice black shape here is actually, it's a very important move. But there, once again, black really needs sente. So like at this point, black could just ignore and play that move at M13. He extends though, and then I hane. So now I'm helping my upper side group, and then I cut. So the thing with this game is my reading was pretty accurate actually. What was wrong was my decision making. Like I was reading everything correctly, but my decision making was wrong. Like for example, the lower left. Like I read, okay, I'm gonna connect, right? I'm gonna connect after I go here. But was that the correct decision? Probably not. Same thing here with this cut. Is this works if black lets white have what white wants. So for example, what I was reading was when I come down, if black tries to save, when I descend here, black cannot block here because then I actually just capture the 2 stones. They have only 2 liberties, so black cannot. It's actually better to do this one. Black cannot capture me. So let's say black goes here. I can Atari. And then white has a nice Tetsuji of this clamp. And this clamp is saying, okay, black, if you play here, I can capture you. Again, playing at the fact that black is low on liberties. Black only has 2 liberties. If black plays anything, this one or this one, it's going to be Sente for white when white connects, Atari, and then I can capture the whole top. And so this is what I read. Yeah, that works. Is there any chance of black letting his whole upper side die? No, of course not. So of course, after this move, black just descends. And the issue with this is I have this cut at h14. Remember, this white center is very weak. So sure, I can maybe save those these 3 stones, but it's not going to be worth it. It's definitely not worth it. So here, I should just not commit to it. Just say, okay, I made a mistake. Just play there. If black plays there, then do something. Maybe something like this. Something like this. Instead, though, I try to save. Of course, when black cuts, again, I really do not want to capture just 4 points. That's all it is. And have black. Again, not sure what the best move is, but I like to go back to this move. You just see white is just hasn't gained much. White, look how many stones white's using to capture 4 points. So, yeah, again, did I read it correctly? Sure. Is black going to play that way? No way. So, I have to give up this stone. And so, what this is, notice this stone here, or if we look at it from this perspective, and let's say I extend, these 2 center stones right here, they are both part of 2 crosscuts. This crosscut here and this crosscut here. So it's a double crosscut. And whenever you have a double crosscut, the center stones are so important because if white got to capture this 15 stone, then white would be connected everywhere. And conversely for black, if black gets to capture the h15 stone, black gets to connect everywhere. And so what happens in the game? Black Atari'd. I don't want to get cut off in the center, so black got to capture that group, or that stone. Again, that very important stone. So, and I didn't get much. Like, I should not have saved these 2 stones. Should not have saved those 2 stones. To begin with, though, just to show, white should just extend here. Something like this. Maybe, actually, double hane like this. Double hane like this. If black cuts and extends like this, white can just Atari, and it's pretty painful for black, actually. Black goes here, white takes, and then plays something like this. Black's upper side has a lot worse shape, and white's upper left is a lot better. So, should have just done that. Should not have cut directly like this. Very, very bad playing. So again, did I read it out correctly? Sure. Is it the right decision? No. And so now black gets to it a little late, but it's still good timing because white is again surrounded. So white has to continue out, and black's just able to pressure this group and then get another big move on the right. So once again, white is actually still leading on points. Black's only points are the upper side and maybe a few points here. Black really doesn't have points anywhere else. White has a lot of points, upper right, upper left, lower left. But the last big question mark is what's going to happen with the center group. Because the center group, sure, it's out, and black's very loose here. It is not 100% safe. So I just extend. And you want to play this extension if this stone at f3 is in danger. If this stone at f3 is in danger and needs a base, then you play this because it's safe and it can't be cut, right? If you have 1 stone, jump 2. But of course, this stone at f3 is very strong. So this sort of move like this, that's Gote, doesn't really get white a lot of points either. It's so bad. It's so bad. White should play more, not even aggressively, just more proactive. Like white should maybe do something in the corner. Again, don't know what, but something in the corner maybe. White can maybe attach here. Let's say black plays something towards the corner. You can see white's getting more of the side this way, if white gets that. So it's a little more forceful. Playing this one, again, doesn't warrant a black response. Black can go anywhere, and black continues to attack the center. And then I push here. So, again, this move is not as big as it looks. Because let's say I just jump. If black wants this move is not Sente. Again, I'm already alive, black's already alive. Sure, he can cut later, but even that's not big. So again, I'm just playing too territorial. My last two moves here are just too slow. All my last moves were Gote, right? This move's Gote, and it just allowed black to attack me. Right now I gotta struggle to live. And again, if I live, that's not what matters. It's how much it's gonna cost me to live. Yeah, black even goes here. I think black, usually you don't want to save your cutting stones, but I think black can just save this stone actually, because it looks dangerous because of this wedge and then cut. If black takes this stone, this would be a big mistake white can capture. But black can just extend here. And if white takes here, again, black actually just extends again. And if white takes here, black can capture. If white connects here, black cuts and extends. And I think this is potentially playable actually. Yeah, because white needs to add a move to make this an eye, otherwise it's just gonna be a false eye. And so black might be able to get the first move here. But maybe I understand black. Again, this is also a lot of reading, but again, maybe black just says, okay, it was a peeping stone. Just give it up. Again, black's not trying to kill, black's just trying to build the right side. You can see how many moves black's getting on the right side. So look how many stones I'm using. It's probably the same amount of stones, right? The white stones here and the black stones on the right side. My white stones here are worth not even a point yet, maybe one. Black's right side stones worth almost, if he gets all of it, 50 to 60. It's very big. So yeah, so he's just attacking in Sente. And once again, why I refuse to play a Sente move in this game, I don't know. It's like I forgot about the concept of Sente. Yeah, I just don't know why. Whenever I got Sente in the past dozen moves, I just played a Gote move. So yeah, like I think he can just come back and either not do that one. Either do this one, save that, or play some sort of move here like this. And there's no way I can ignore that one. I'm definitely going to answer that. So as long as, right, let's just be very, very nice. White's going to be alive. He's at least forced me to live with one eye, right? First. In this way, I do get that one move, which is starting to look like white eyes. Peep. Play there. On A. And shoulder hit. Yep, this is all Sente. And then play there, yeah. So this move, go through this game. Go through this game and look at how many chances white had to get to the right side. How many of them? There's at least a dozen times white had to get to the bottom right? What do they always say? Corners, side, then center. Look how many times white had to play in this corner, but decided to play on the side instead, or even the center instead. It's a laughable amount, honestly. And so all of a sudden, black's right side is all points, and it's a very close game all of a sudden. It's a very close game. Yeah, look, because it's not just the right side, it expands into the center. So we're not just talking about 4th or 5th line territory. We're talking about, what is that, 8th, 9th line territory? That's a lot. It's a lot. So, yeah, just very, I don't know why I forgot about the concept of Sente in this game. But, yeah, I did. Yeah, black jumps there. Here, I think it's good enough for black to come down here, block here, or just go elsewhere. This connection here, way too far. This connection here for black is, because it's Gote, it does leave a little bit of Aji there, but it's not so big right now, because white finally plays a Sente move. Yep, so I got to reduce that in Sente. Peep. Yep, he peeped. So he even peeped, and now there's no Aji there now, so it's kind of pretty small up there. And you'll see that filling in here, this Liberty, actually changes a lot in the game later, and we'll see that. Connect and connect. So we're in endgame. Push, Hane, extend, and connect. Tiger's mouth. Kind of threatening white's eyes as well. And then block. Yeah, there's no reason for me not to make... Nope, not that move. Sorry. This move here, there's no reason for me not to make this move. Because what is it threatening? It's one, it's threatening to break into black center. Two, it's giving me that eye. That oh so important eye that I need for that group that only has one eye currently. Yeah, so going here does allow black to push Atari. And when I connect, black can go here. And white's group only has one eye. Now, there is one thing about this, though, is white can start to make an eye by wedging here, right? Like this. If black connects, this would be an eye. This would be an eye. Now, this gets pretty crazy. Because, technically, when white wedges here, black doesn't need to protect. Black can take out that eye. Something like this. If white cuts and black takes an Atari, and white can Hane here like this, and usually black can throw in here and then Atari, but look, black's so short on liberties. Going back to what I said with black's monkey jump, if black had not filled here, this would work for black. Black could Atari here, white would be dead. So that little thing of black not answering there, or answering there, I should say, it changes this whole life and death here, which is pretty crazy. Going back to the game, though, another way black can play is Atari from the bottom. Play this way. Black now doesn't have any eyes, which is a problem, of course. But black can fix here, like this. And now black's all connected, but black's very low on liberties. White can Hane here. If black plays this one, white can Atari directly like this, and it's a ko. Yeah, it's a very big ko. White has one local threat of this one. No, that's not even a local threat, is it? No, does white even have a local ko? See, the thing with this ko for white, though, is sure, white can make a ko threat to live, because white needs to play something that'll make white live, right? But black will be able to... White will be able to live, but black will be able to really hurt this upper right corner. And that's not really playable. So that's directly a ko. But if white goes there, but instead, of course, white can just connect, and it's a connect and die. This is what I saw in my review when I was reviewing this game ahead of time. If you're wondering why the pauses. Now, let's say black goes here, though. This prevents... this is the ko I was thinking about. White goes in, and then Atari's here, like this. Yeah, same thing with this, though. White can make a ko threat, something like this, but yeah, it's not... Actually, white has this as a ko threat, I think. White goes there, threatening this cut. If black takes the ko, white now Atari's here, and this is threatening all of these stones here, which again, I think black can think about giving this up, and it's probably is big enough, right? Something like this. It may prevent the ko. Yeah, I'm guessing black gains here, because those stones for black weren't getting black any points. So, yeah. So basically, there was potential here. There's potential here for black to take out white shape, but black needed to see this Atari here. Or take out white's eye, I should say. Again, though, I think we were both in Byoyomi, so I understand black. Because, again, black trying that, and you reading wrong, throws the game away. So black just fills, but this does allow me to make this eye in Sente. So that's actually a pretty big difference. I'm able to play here in Sente. So I take, and he descends, and I clamp. So again, we're in endgame. But because of all of the points black got on the right side, black actually does have enough to win the game at this point. And just quickly go through the rest. And it's kind of crazy because that black left side worth 1 point, and even the upper side is worth a handful. But it's because, look, again, I always got back to the right side. Look how many points black made on the right side, and how many chances white had to get in there, and white never took one. And look where all of black's points are. So that just shows all of white's decision making was very bad in this game. Very, very bad. So we both pass, and black won by 5.5. And that's, yeah. So that means even black was ahead on the board at this point. But yeah, just in the middle game, I kept playing Gote moves. I just kept taking cash. And yeah, let black crawl back into the game. So a lot to learn from this game. I definitely need to be more proactive. Need to not take Gote as much. And I need to play on the biggest parts of the board. Yeah. Those are the big things, I think. But yeah, good learning experience at least. Hate that it's in a tournament game, but it is what it is. So lost this game, so starting out 0-1 is always a bad feeling. And yeah, I will say, hopefully this is no spoilers, but my opponent, Tony Yang, he did actually end up winning the whole event, going 4-0. So just knowing that kind of makes this loss sting a little bit more, because I definitely had a fighting chance. But regardless, yeah, that's my first round game. If you have any questions about this game, please leave a comment in the comment section. I always read all of them. But yeah, look forward to round 2 of the National Go Center Fall Tournament. And I'll see you in the next video.